This week, there's been a very pressing issue with our health facilities. The health minister, Kwabena Takando, told the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Tamale Teaching Hospital, where they had some issues. A 31-year-old man died as a result of not getting access to a ventilator. That sparked conversation on social media, compelling the health minister to go there. Fast forward, the doctors had to strike following the dismissal of the chief executive officer and also came as a result of the
the strike is not directly related.
Yeah, but they were asking for the equipment.
Yes, but
that
rather
is
the
needed
altercation with their colleague, which they describe as an attack on their colleague by the health minister and the member of parliament for Tamale North, Hassan Suini. And then, of course, they are asking for a safe environment to work in. And then, of course, the request for certain essentials and equipment to aid their work. They are coming from a point where they appear to have been making sacrifices, but rather are being victimized
as a result.
And so this time we are sitting back, provide everything, and then we will come in as professionals to execute our duty and go back home. But you see, from where I sit, my challenge with this entire issue, the Tamale Teaching Hospital problem, is we have this appetite of reducing a systemic failure, a failure of the system to the offense of a person.
Okay.
You get it? And at the end of the day, we'll go round and round and round and not deal with the failure of the system.
Of the system itself.
And so that we will come and do a populist, make some big noise about the whole thing, pick somebody out, give him a bad name, hang him, but the system has failed and hasn't been addressed. The system that is supposed to protect us has, listen, yesterday I chanced on a write-up by somebody who has had a personal experience at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and they're telling us that they have witnessed a baby's ear bitten off by a rat.
Wow, at the hospital.
So you can imagine the level of system failure there. You get it? And that is what we should be looking at. Instead of reducing the entire challenge to headlines and clickbaits, and then we'll go back and sleep, and the system. But
yesterday, the minister tried providing some items.
Do you have a list of the items he provided?
We would have to pull that,
let's
list
and let's see if
version.
it tallies with what the doctors are asking for.
But the doctors,
if somebody is dying, sorry not to cut you, but if somebody is dying due to the lack of a ventilator, and you are donating gauze, have you addressed the challenge? You understand? If we are sharing oxygen, we understand that they ration oxygen, and nurses have to move oxygen from one ward to the other. And you can't give me plaster. Have you addressed my challenge?
But yesterday, per what the doctors were also saying is that they were demanding apology from the minister immediately. We spoke to the General Secretary for the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Richard Salome, who also noted that this is what they demand. At least if you give us an apology, you give us an assurance that you'll be providing the equipment and also the materials we need to work, we would rescind our decision. The new chief executive officer for Tamale Teaching Hospital, Bawa, also came out to say that the strike is biting hard, because
of course it will.
You would see that people will come to the hospital or patients who come to the hospital and they do not get access to the consulting room, and it makes it a very big problem. Do you have the items now?
Yes,
if
I
you can
do.
share with us all the items.
Just to add up, you know, I seem to have quite of a problem with the doctors, not to say that they have no right to strike, but my question is, or my concern is coming from the point where, you know, you have a myriad of problems and issues happening in the hospital. I'm sure they might have reached out to the Ministry of Health or the responsible ministry to cater for their needs. Now, you didn't see the need to call for a strike to say that because I need A, B, C, and D to do my work diligently and I don't have it, I would not want to be held responsible for any unforeseen circumstances that happens in this hospital. So due to that, I'm laying down my tools until I have access to those, so that I'm not blamed for any mishaps or misfortunes in this hospital. But you work with the little you have, trying to help help the hospital and then, of course, the people of Tamale. And then an issue happens and the minister comes there angrily, vents at you and all of that. And then you say you are striking because of that.
I understand where you're coming from. They should have made an equal measure of noise to meet
exactly
the narrative out there regarding the challenges of the hospital, so that at least some address or some relief can be brought in. That they failed to do. But then on the other side of the coin is the fact that we are caregivers. We have taken an oath to provide care and to protect lives. And so we are doing the best that we can with the little that we have. But if there is a problem, you come, so we sit and engage on it. But where I understand you is that, you see, with the myriad of problems regarding this hospital, you don't reduce it to boardroom talk.
Yeah.
Because you see, the management of the facility will have medical practitioners in there. And so they will know
what the
problem is and how they are struggling to provide health care. And so you don't reduce it to boardroom talk amongst yourselves without escalating it to the top, where the actual solution is supposed to come from. You get it? That's where they failed, if you ask me. But on the part of the minister, I think if there's an issue such as this, you don't spring a surprise on the hospital on its management.
The minister's argument was also that I would have to get first-hand information, and if I should tell them that I'm coming to the facility, they may cover up some things. So I just go in there, get to know what the information is, pick it up for myself. For instance, when they went, what we heard from Suhini was that when they went there, the chief executive officer or the head of department, I think it was the head of department that had a conversation with them.
Dr. Valentine we've heard.
Yes.
Yes.
So they were ushering them to the chief executive officer's office. But the minister and Honorable Suhini stated that no, we would have to check the emergency ward or the facility first before we get seated. And that was when they noticed that they didn't have a lot of equipment they need. But yesterday, what the doctors were asking for, among the numerous things, I'll just mention a few. They said, we shall resume provision of emergency and outpatient after we receive appropriate apology. Yesterday, I think we saw the minister do some sort of apology.
And you notice how the politicians will apologize without saying sorry.
Of course, they'll apologize diplomatically.
They'll never use the word sorry.
Yes. So it's a constant flow of water through the taps of clinical works and also stable electricity supply in the hospital. Constant supply of oxygen. Now, what really caused the issue was the ventilators. They need 4 ventilators at the accident and emergency department, 4 ventilators at the intensive care unit, 2 ventilators at the pediatric emergency ward, 2 ventilators at the neonatal intensive care unit, and 2 ventilators at the maternal intensive care unit, 2 transport ventilators, 2 transport incubators at the obstetric and gynecology department. But they came out to, per what the minister gave yesterday, they said they gave out ultrasound scanner with accessories. They gave out 5 ECG machines, 6 ICU cardiac monitors, 2 infant incubators, and multiple ventilators, including what they need for the ICU and the transport ventilators that they are also asking for. They went on to give 20,000 face masks, 500 assorted sutures. They also gave out 10 bowls with stands, 5 delivery sets, 1 EEG machine, 3 voltage stabilizers, 1 operating lamp, 5 emergency trawlers, among others. These are just some of the items we are mentioning, not all the items that were given.
But so at least we can cross out some.
Exactly. So if these items have been given, it's just prudent that the doctors will call off the strike.
It is.
Go back to the facility, get work done. Then they can now get a round table discussion and see the way forward. I think that it will help. so that when two elephants are fighting, we wouldn't have the grass suffering, because now the people who are suffering are the patients.
Yeah.
The patients. But we still want to hear the sorry from the minister. He should say sorry.
Oh, but you think the
He
minister
says
will
he
say
has
sorry?
apologized.
He should say
He says he
sorry.
has
He
apologized,
should just
and
say
then he
sorry,
didn't.
then we'll move on. That's all.
Well, there's a message coming here. It says it's surprising how Nana Tufo has left out the doctor's response that has triggered all the uproar. Are we okay with a doctor saying, why are we blowing one man's death out of proportion? Let's balance the discussion. How is Eastern Regional Hospital managing their space? To buy 5 dialysis machine from their IGF is highly commendable. So this one is trying to say that you should also use your internally generated funds.
I agree.
IGF. So
I agree.
there is a
totally.
loophole on how they're also generating funds there.
I agree totally. And whoever sent the text, thank you so much. But I was just trying to stay away from one ill, because what I believe in is 2 wrongs not making a right.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, condolences to the family of the deceased. We cannot downplay the loss of a life in any situation. But you see, I wanted us to scale up the conversation so that we can look at the major problem of the facility, deal with it so that we can prevent some of these avoidable deaths. You get it? That's how come I intentionally stayed away from that. But I mean, it's fine. Granted, it's fine. Thank you so much for that message. Keep the messages coming in so that together we can all find remedies.
But in general, I think the
this
conversation should be around our health sector in this country. How hospitals are running, how clinics are running, how health centers are running. The more reason why we're moving to some right now to bring a conversation on that. In
the
that
health
area,
system itself needs an overhaul, a complete overhaul. And I think the minister, by now, having been in office for about 3 months now, should have received a brief of our health sector.
And that was also the argument of the minister as well. Who have you told? That's what he went there asking.
Oh, but he must have a brief by now, because he has district health directors, he has regional health directors, he has the Ghana Health Service, he has the various agencies under his ministry who are to brief him on daily happenings within the health sector. You understand? Not to take the minister on or anything, but I'm saying that this is what is expected to happen. So if it hasn't happened, then the minister should be posing questions to people he has put in authority.
Yes.
And they should brief him on the current state, the level of integrity of our health facilities, the structural integrity of same, the equipment and their level of functionality, if they are even in a position to work as we speak. Because you see, I mean, what is crazy for me is the fact that, can he visit every hospital when somebody dies?
That's the question.
I doubt.
And we were in this country where we also had no bed syndrome.
Exactly.
And it's not like the issue is new. It's been there for a very long time.
So pick their reports, look at the... You see, when this happened, he has made this major donation.
Yes. And Nana,
the medical stores, do you know the things that are sitting there that have not been
I was
supplied?
wondering, where did the things suddenly come from? And with this visit...
He didn't buy them on his way back from Tamale.
Yes, he didn't go to just the
Maybe he
Tamale
ordered for
Teaching
them.
Hospital. He went to
and they
the
arrived
Greater
when?
Accra Regional Hospital as well. And there were also issues of concerns from there. Yesterday, I saw a post on social media where some renovation works were ongoing at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. And I was wondering, should it take the minister to come, or should it take a public uproar for the right things to be done, for us to be maintaining our public services or our health services? Because I went to the Greater Accra Regional Hospital for the first time in my life. I think somewhere in February. I had never been there. Even when it was the old one before the new construction. And I was being told by people that, oh, this place is not functioning because when it was newly built, oh, the place was really nice, but this is not functioning, this is not working. And in the lift, they've stationed people in the lift who are operating the lift because they think that when the public are using it on their own,
they'll get it spoiled.
It'll go out of hand. And at some point in time, when we were standing in the lift waiting for the operator to take us up, the door was not even closing.
Wow.
The guy had to be pushing the door, trying to adjust it. And I'm like, what's going on
it
here?
also has to do with our maintenance culture, or probably how we do not pay attention to some of these things. They say, a binder. So once it's a binder, we just get to use it anyhow.
Is there a facilities manager there?
Probably there should be. Yeah, there should be. There should be a facilities manager.
And is he taking salary? Is he being paid?
Of course, yes. The salary is going to hit the account
and what is the
every
state
month.
of the
If he was
facility
not
he's
paid
managing?
for 3 months, you hear the uproar.
Exactly. I'm saying that, listen, the minister cannot be everywhere at every time. That's why he has agency and agents working for him. it's good he went there.
Yeah.
We give that to him. But think of it this way. If he had commissioned a quiet investigation into this matter, he would have been in a better position to deal with what I call the systemic or systematic failure.
Right.
That failure of the system that is causing all of
But
this.
yesterday I was raising this concern that anytime there is an issue with a big man in this country, a politician or someone who is really financially sound or stable, the person tends to seek for medical health abroad. And that is the problem, because if you are a member of parliament for, say, Tamale North, or Tamale South, Tamale Central, and you are in that area, or let's say Ablekuma South, Ablekuma North, and even when you go to a hospital like Ganoth, you are within the Ganoth area and you attend the hospital there or the health facility there, you know their challenges.
Yeah.
You know that what they have is not enough to keep that ordinary Ghanaian to survive.
Yeah.
But you tend to travel abroad, and maybe with your own money, but with the taxpayers' money also supporting you, you seek for medical health there. And what are you doing for us in this country? It's a big problem.
You're on your own.
Yeah, you're on your own to survive. But anyway,